What is going on, everybody? Welcome to PokéGo Heroes. That's the name of my channel. My name is Bear, and just like the heroes in the anime go on amazing adventures, you are the hero of this story, and I'm here as your guide. Today is starting off with the first spooky event of the spooky season in Pokemon Go. I'm super hyped, as you can tell, and yeah, let's dive into it. This is the Yamask and Galarian Yamask Research Day. Ghost types are my favorite. So the way this video is going to work is we're going to go through what the event is, and then the PvP, and then the PvE viability of the Pokemon. And then I'm actually going to do a little bonus content at the end for you lore nerds. I know what some of the other games I used to play, and still do. I used to play World of Warcraft, and I just don't have time anymore with the kiddos and with Pokemon Go. But I still keep up with the lore of that series because I really like the stories. I really enjoy the storytelling. So at the end, we're going to go through the lore of Yamask and Galarian Yamask and where they've appeared throughout the Pokemon franchise. So let's go ahead and dive into the event. All right. So the event starts on Saturday, October 19th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's going to be bonuses. So there'll be special event themed field research that will be available at Pokestops and reward encounters with Yamask and Galarian Yamask. So anytime you get a Pokemon from a research task, that one has the same odds of being a hundo as a raid. Definitely worth trying to get those. There's going to be paid time research available in the shop. I'm so excited about this. I need a shiny of both of these. I do have a hundo Galarian Yamask that I got 2 years ago, but I still want the shiny family of all of them because I have no shinies of any of those. Also, the wild spawns got me hyped. We got Cubone in there. I really want a hundo of Cubone. So within my goal of having a hundo dex, I really want to get a hundo of all the Kanto Pokemon, and I still need a hundo Cubone. And then we got Dusknoir, which I need a hundo of him as well. Shieldon and Galarian Zigzagoon. Both of these, several of these Pokemon have some really good playability in the game depending on what you're into. So we'll dive into that shortly. So you can receive event-themed field research tasks for spinning photo discs, like we talked about earlier, for the Yamask and Galarian Yamask. Here are the shiny forms of each. So cool, man. I like the silver and purple. That's a cool combo. I guess gray and purple. And then there it is, the Galarian. So the IV floor, like I mentioned earlier, is the same as it is from a raid. So we got the 10-10-10 for the IV floor, which is how we know that the raids and the research tasks have the same odds of being hundos. All of these can be shiny, which I'm very excited about. The odds for all of these are 1 in 500. I believe that the Galarian Zigzagoon is 1 in 64. And so that's slightly higher odds. The paid research task will be $2, which to me is very much worth it because even if you only got 2 encounters from that event, so you pay $2, you get 2 encounters, that's just equal to the cost of doing 2 raids. Not remote raids, just regular raids. So definitely worth it, in my opinion. I will be paying for that. I'm excited to do it. There's gonna be featured things in the store, Lucario mask, a bunch of different masks for it. That's what's going on in the event. Next, let's talk about the PvP viability of these, followed by PvE. So player versus environment. So let's start off with Kofagrigas. Kofagrigas, however you say it. All right, so let's get into that PvP analysis, excuse me. So let's look at Kofagrigas. Say that 3 times fast. So here we got Kofagrigas. He's 143 in the Great League. In the Ultra League, 114, not bad. Yeah, he's not for the Master League. But what about the Halloween Cup too? Yeah, he's great for the Halloween Cup. So if you wanted to pick him up for the Halloween Cup, I think that would be a good bet. Runerigus is 87th in the Great League. It's pretty good. We got Shadow Claw, Brutal Swing, Shadow Ball. And then a Master, 295. Okay. 54 in the Ultra. And then 87 in the Great League. So I think that both of these could have some play in the Great League due to its bulk and access to moves like Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. So yeah, I think you could make either one of those work if you wanted to, but I hate to say it, but let's just look. Yeah, Golurk is just going to beat Runerigus in the Great League. Yeah, and then Ultra League. Interesting. So Runerigus beats Golurk in the Ultra League. I think you could have some Runerigus play in the Ultra. And then, let's see. I think that Runerigus outperforms Kofagrigas in PvP, in my opinion, especially when you're looking at the Great League and the Ultra League. I think Runerigus shines the most in the Ultra League in terms of ranking. I think that you could make it work in the Great League as well, but Golurk's going to have it beat out. It's a good follow-up. It would be like a budget Golurk if you don't have a good Shadow Golurk. I'm going to be going for it. So that's my PvP analysis. Essentially, I think you could make it work in the Great and Ultra League, but you're going to go with Runerigus over Cope. But they both have great movesets. So I think that those will can both perform well in the Great and Ultra League. Not so much the Master. So let's look at Marowak. Yeah, number 31, Marowak. You can definitely with that Mud Slap, because Mud Slap got buffed to the season. So yeah, Marowak in the Great League is solid. You're going to definitely want to grab one of those. Remember, for PvP, you want low HP, high attack, high stamina. That's great. This is number 32 in the Ultra League as well. Love it. You love to see it. So definitely get yourself a good PvP Cubone. That's so cool. Obstagoon is, it's just because counter got nerfed last season, so Obstagoon has fallen off the map. Still worth getting one, in my opinion, in the event that in the future there's a buff to counter to get it back to where it was. So I still think it's worth getting. You won't necessarily use it this season, but get it for the candies and then for the possibility of move changes in the future. Dusknoir. Let's see. So Dusknoir is okay in the Great League. Anything in the top 150 can be viable depending on its teammates. Wow. Dusknoir is number 12 in the Ultra League. So that's fantastic. Is there a better ghost type? Giratina is number 3. So Dusknoir is great for the Ultra League. So definitely look for a PvP at that. That's incredible. Love it. You love to see it. And then Shieldon, Bastiodon, Ultra League is great. Yeah, it's still so good. Smackdown, Stone Edge, Flamethrower. My goodness, that's fantastic. Okay, so this event is so good. So we got Cubone. In my opinion, you should go for the Galarian Zigzagoon. What does? Let's just check regular Zigzagoon. Lanoon. Yep. Okay. So Lanoon, not so much. I actually have the ideal IVs for this. I caught it in the wild, and it's not worth a whole lot. But all right, going back, the high-level overview is that Marowak, Obstagoon, I believe, will have a comeback eventually, maybe next year or the year after. But current good ones to catch are Cubone, Dusknoir for Dusknoir, and Shieldon for Bastiodon. Those are all top tier. So definitely get yourself PvP versions of those. I know I'm going to be trying to get shinies of all of them. I've got shinies of the Galarian Zigzagoon and of Dusknoir, but I still need shiny Cubones and Shieldons. So that's the PvP take. Now PvE, none of these are going to be top performers in PvE. So if you're doing a raid battle, none of these are going to be in the top 10 or even the top 15 in terms of their counters, which I think it's about having fun. I have a team that I do raids with called Original 6, and it was the original 6 Pokemon that I had in Red and Blue back in the Game Boy days. And I still use them because a lot of the times you're doing a 3-star raid or a 2-star, and it's not that important. when it really does matter, unfortunately, you're probably not going to want to use these guys as raid attackers, but you still can, in my opinion, unless if the margins are razor thin, if the battle's in doubt, then you will need the ideal counters. But these are all fine, in my opinion, in terms of PvE. So last up, to spice up these videos, if that's all you wanted to hear from this video, please like and subscribe. I make content like this daily. And then if you want to stick around, I'm doing the lore stuff for you, all you lore nerds. So let's jump into the lore. So I had to do some Googling on this. This took me a minute. So you will see me reading off of this because, believe it or not, I don't just have pocket knowledge of Yamask. Yamask, the Unova form, its debut was in Pokemon Black and White Generation 5, which was released 14 years ago. It's crazy old. The lore from it says Yamask carries a mask representing its past life. It is believed to have the memories of being human. And then the Unovan Yamask appeared in Pokemon Black and White in the anime, the episode titled A Night in Nasreen City Museum. In this episode, Yamask haunts the museum, causing mysterious disturbances by possessing artifacts and creating illusions. It's eventually revealed that Yamask lost its mask, and Ash and his friends help it to regain the artifact, restoring peace to the museum. The Galarian Yamask was introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield, so Generation 8, which was released not that long ago, 2019. The Galarian Yamask creates fragments of ancient clay tablets. It's said to be the soul of a person who died in an accident. Spooky. Galarian Yamask had its first appearance on Journeys. It appeared in episode 42 of the Pokemon Journey anime series titled Sword and Shield From Here to Eternatus. The Galarian Yamask is featured during the episode centered around the Darkest Day, which if you don't know, Darkest Day is when Eternatus finally comes to a head, finally unleashes its power, and Zacian and Zamazenta have to stop it. I also looked it up in the trading card game to see if it had any lore there, but nothing crazy. It appeared in the trading card game series like Emerging Powers, but it hasn't had any noteworthy competitive champion decks. Same thing with Galarian Yamask. It was in sets like the Rebel Clash, but again, wasn't significant in the competitive scene, so you wouldn't know of it necessarily. Versus somebody who follows the competitive scene might know of a high-level player from 2019 that used blah, blah, blah deck, but that's just not the case here. So enjoy your spooky season as it starts to kick off with the first spooky event of the year. If you like this kind of content, for every event I upload things like this, going over not just what the event is about, but the PvP and PvE viability of each one, of all the parts of the event. And then starting with this video, I'll have a lore section at the end if it's applicable. So I think that it's just a fun way to immerse yourself into it, right? It's one thing to be like, oh, I've got a really good PvP Marowak. It's another thing to know about the character of Marowak as it appeared in the anime or in the manga, or its power in the trading card games and that kind of stuff. I think it's fun. All right, that about does it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Please like and subscribe. It helps me boost in the algorithm, trying to get to 100 subscribers. Really appreciate you all. Love you, and I'll see you out there.